San Francisco is launching a new pilot program that aims to help transition people from RVs to permanent housing. So Mayor Daniel Lurie announced today the city will pay landlords the equivalent of 1 month's rent to reserve vacant housing units for families or single adults who are currently living in RVs. Now, there is currently a ban on long-term RV parking across San Francisco, but RV dwellers are able to apply for a parking pass as long as they're in the process of finding long-term housing. Comes as a new report this week found that more than 1.8 million Bay Area residents struggle to make ends meet. And that's according to the nonprofit Tipping Point. The report also found about half of those people are already working full-time. But one small housing project in San Francisco is showing what's possible when people have stability and support from job training to health services. Our Lauren Toms introduces us to a man who credits the community for helping him kick his drug habits and find a path toward permanent success.
I had a really bad problem with drugs for a long time. I was mixing heroin, fentanyl, crystal meth, and cocaine together and shooting it. And like 20 times a day. It was like ridiculous.
For most of his life, Bryce Sterling had been stuck in a cycle of addiction and homelessness, a story playing out across the Bay Area every day. But here at San Francisco's tiny home community on 33 Goff, he says something finally changed.
I've been able to save up almost $2,000 since I've stopped using drugs. Do my doctor's office, I got one of the ladies there, I told them I wanted to go to work, and they all thought I was crazy. They're like, dude, you're not ready. I'm like, yeah, I'm ready. I'm there.
Bryce has lived here since May of last year, inside one of the 70 private cabins operated by Urban Alchemy. And he's not alone in his comeback. The group says 128 people who once lived here have now moved on to permanent housing, a number Supervisor Matt Dorsey, who oversees much of SOMA in the Tenderloin, calls a success.
I think this is something that we need to look at as a cost-effective solution. It may not be the cheapest solution, but it's certainly not the most expensive. And if it's true, and it seems to be so far, that this is something that is really doing what we want supportive housing to be doing, helping people get up on their own feet and find success elsewhere, that's great. That's exactly what we should be doing as a city.
It cost about $32,000 per cabin annually to run the community. That cost more than a congregate shelter, but far less than building a new permanent structure. Dorsey says that makes it a smart stopgap in a city desperate for housing options. 33 Goff is one of several tiny home communities on leased land that would otherwise sit empty as developers wait on permits and financing. And because the cabins are modular, the entire village can be picked up and rebuilt somewhere else, carrying its community with it.
At any given time in San Francisco, there are projects that we're just waiting for the financing to pencil out so that the thing can get going. Until then, we've got land that's usable, that's convenient, that we could be using for a good purpose. And certainly when we're seeing the success that 33 Goff has offered, that's a good use of that land.
Success for Bryce looks like joining the 128 former residents who now have a place to call home.
As soon as that comes through, my life will be pretty much perfect.
And for the first time in his life, he says he can see that future.
The San Francisco Department of Homelessness and Supportive Housing said in a statement that 33 Goff and 2 other sites, quote, play an important role in contributing to the diversity of the city's shelter interventions.